Hello everybody, my name is Khatleesi and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. If you're new to the series, I have a playlist dedicated to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles over on my channel, as well as several more series at the moment, including Stardew Valley and Ori in the Blind Forest. More series are to come, so if you do enjoy the content, your like and subscription are greatly appreciated. Now, let's get back into the game. I love that that hammer slamming down whenever I make an option. Alright, so we're actually going to check the briefcase at the end of last episode, so let's continue with that. Oh my, Miss Pavlova's case is open. It's completely empty inside, but according to the great detective's great deduction, she was hiding her special friend in there. Yes, a friend that she had to keep secret, because you're not allowed to bring animals aboard the SS Buria. I wonder what kind of animal she had in there. And, more to the point, where is it now? So, I believe I have checked everything there is to check in here, right? Correct. Right? Correct? Yeah. Yeah, so let's move into the passageway. Sure, let's do that. I thought I would have to do something in here, but it looks like I don't have anything to do in that room, so... Oh! What's he doing? Oh, it's Mr. Sholmes. Look! Wow, you never know where he's going to turn up next, do you? He seems to be stealing a look at something as he sings to himself. I want to hear him sing. Tra-la-la-la-lira-lira-lay, I did it the great detective way. Sorry for my singing. He's still singing. Do you think he hasn't noticed us yet? Or he's simply in extremely high spirits. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when the yard bit off more than it could chew. And through it all, when there was doubt, it's lucky her luck was about. Excuse me. I solved it all, and I stood tall. I did it the great detective way. Mr. Sholmes. Oh, what is it? You want to fight? Honestly, interrupting a fellow when he's singing, and I was just about to reach the climactic finish. Sorry, I thought you were never going to stop, so I figured now's as good as a time as any. I thought he was just rhyming, I didn't realize he was still singing. I very nearly dropped you to the floor with one of my famous right hooks. Alright, I get the picture. Now could you put those fists away? He's having a whole workout right now. Christ. He just keeps moving. Mr. Sholmes, you seem to be examining something before we interrupted you. Ah, yes, that. I was immersed in study of the ship's log, as penned by the stockily built crewman who's usually on guard here. Oh yes, the ship's log. And did you find out anything useful from it? Well, after 2 a.m. this morning, the majority of the entries are blank. Which means that there was nothing to report. Nothing to note happened, so... You truly are a student from the land of the rising sun. You've been utterly blinded by it. Sorry? Your logic, my boy, is inverted. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? Observe the other pages, and all shall become clear. It would seem the same crewman oft stands sentry in this first-class passageway, and he has an almost religious practice of recording nothing to report every half hour. Oh, he writes down every 30 minutes? Nothing to report? Precisely. Put simply, the seaman writes nothing to report when there is just that. And yet, the ship's log from last night is largely blank. He didn't even write nothing to report. Do you mean... Yes. There were circumstances afoot last night which led to the seaman being absent from his post. What kind of circumstances? What happened? That remains a mystery for now. but we can be sure something significant took place. So significant that it caused Seaman to forget his regular habit of scribbling nothing to report in the log. These are important details. I will stake my life on it. You must log the ship's log in your mental file. The ship's log has been entered into the court record. Ship's log, a record kept by the crew assigned to the first-class cabin area. There are virtually no entries from 2 a.m. until early this morning. Now that deduction was worthy of a great detective. Ah, you're starting to understand what my way is, I see. What makes Sholmes, brilliance. Oh, ouch. What is it? Are you hurt? Oh, don't worry yourself. I seem to be afflicted with a throbbing head this morning for some reason. Nothing more. Everybody's head hurt this morning. Well, my friends, until our next encounter. What happened? I'm so confused. He's still saying to himself. I can hear it as he wanders off down the passageway. Is something wrong, Susato-san? You seem lost in thought. It's just, well, I feel the same. Sorry? Ever since I woke up this morning, I've had something of a headache. A sort of continuous throbbing. Oh, you too. Absolutely everyone. Alright, let's examine. Oh. Can I leave through here now? Is that why I can examine it? That door leads to the second class area. Should we go? It's locked. I can't open it. No, well, that stands to reason. No one wants to let the murderer escape. Gosh, she gave me a very stern look when she said that. Then how did Sholmes leave? Because he left down the hall. There's no hall here, right? Unless it goes down there. I don't know if there's anything else for me to look at. I'll check the doors. First class cabin number 1. Maybe it'll tell me where to go. Yes, that's our cabin. Not our cabin. It's Kazuma-sama's. Sorry? Your accommodation is confined to the wardrobe inside the cabin. You know how to make a stowaway feel small, don't you? As small as this wardrobe I've been calling home. Anyway, I'm trying to speak faster than I can. I wonder if Inspector Hosonaga has managed to uncover any new clues. Perhaps? Yes, we should probably find him and ask. Alright, you know what? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ask him for new clues. Examine. Alright, Hosonaga. Okay, that was for nothing. Let's move back here. I'm not sure what to do. Examine. Let's examine the door again. This one. That one's checked off. Let's check off this one. Miss Pavlova's cabin. Okay. This could be our chance. What? The burly sailor doesn't appear to be around at the moment. We can investigate every last inch for that cabin. I'm not sure if we could go that far, but we could certainly do with looking around more. I'm sure we could learn something. I probably just did things in the wrong order, and I was supposed to speak to Sholmes first, because we did hear him singing before I went into Pavlova's cabin earlier, so there's probably something different about it now. Look at that. What is that? Shut down the engines immediately. Vessel sighted a quarter-mile forward. Full stop, hard to starboat. All hands, brace for impact. What the? I think we're about to crash into another ship. What? I can't stand. Susato-san, hold on to me. Ah! What is happening? Susato-san, are you alright? Are you injured at all? I think I'm fine. Thank you, Naruhodo-san. That's what happened last night. Right? Because everybody has a headache, so it makes sense that that ringing would happen. But how did nobody wake up? It looks like we avoided a collision. I think, yes, the ship has come to a stop. Oh my goodness, what about Naruhodo-san? Are you hurt? No, I'm fine. Oh. Hello, is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like Inspector Hosonaga. Is that you in there, Naruhodo-san? Unbolt the door, quickly. What? The bolt. Look at that. So, I think we're learning that last night the ship might have come to a stop, which is why all of the books were tumbled over, and why the bolt would have slid back in. The door's bolted. Did you do that, Sato-san? No, I didn't touch it. Well, that's strange. How did... And look at all the books. They're just like they were before again. Yep. Naruhodo-san, aren't you going to open the door and let the inspector in? Why don't you do it? You're closer. Why is she giving me a look? I'd better tidy this place up first. No, don't tidy it up. Our violent emergency stop had solved one mystery at least, in a very vivid way. But I knew that what awaited us on the other side of the cabin door would not be pleasant. I hurried around, tidying up the cabin with a new sense of foreboding in my heart. Why would it be unpleasant if it's the inspector? To be continued. Well, we're going to continue that right now. Woo! Good stretch. While waiting for this to continue. Let's save. Yep. Save that. Okay. Back. I always assume it's just gonna go back on its own. 9th of January, SS Buria, Miss Pavlova's cabin. Somehow, the door to the cabin we were in ended up bolted after we made an emergency stop. Susato-san took a deep breath, then gently slid back the bolt. Oh no, they're all here. You, what are you doing in Miss Pavlova's quarters? Ah, you both look unhurt. Good. Yes, we're fine, thank you. What on earth happened? We heard something about how we were going to collide within our ship. Yes, it appears to have been a false report though. Oh, how did that happen? There's a dense fog outside, so it's extremely difficult to see. Someone must have thought he saw a ship ahead. This person obviously triggered the alarm, and that's why we made an emergency stop. Everything is chaos, passengers are screaming, crew are running everywhere. Why is he talking all of a sudden like he needs to tell us this? This first-class area is the only quiet part of the ship at the moment. Oh, I see. Someone triggered the alarm. Does that mean that someone pressed that button outside? You wicked intruder, dressed all in black, you are the devil. Sorry, me? I've been called a lot of things before, but devil is the first. You opened my traveling case. How could you? What? No, we didn't touch it. That's right, Miss Pavlova. It was already open when we came into your cabin. Inspector. Yes? Arrest this man. I know he did it. He is a criminal. It is not enough that he has killed a man. Da! And he is a stowaway as well. If Vixen promises not to steal chicken, do you believe? Ugh. Take him away. He is a trespasser as well as everything else. Now I feel like she killed, oh, I forget his name, but you know who. Stowing away, trespassing, killing. She is right, you're the devil. It doesn't look good, does it? There's a cell below deck. Throw him in. Tomorrow we dock in Hong Kong. Then we give you straight to police. Wait, a cell? Please, Inspector Hosonaga, is there nothing you can do? This is a Russian vessel. I really have no jurisdiction here. After my last effort to appeal to the captain's good nature, I think I'm out of options. This is terrible. This is a real crisis. I've got to find a solution. Immediately. Oh, don't give me lives. Move. Moving the car. It doesn't even give me the option. I wish it gave me the option, kind of just gave me like, you know, Stroganoff just stopping me or something. What the fuck is he doing? What are you doing up there? Mr. Sholmes? Naturally, I was analyzing what a weight of 20,000 rubles feels like on one's head. Have I not told you that as a detective, it is my business to know what other people do not? This isn't mere tomfoolery, my boy. Oh, no. Well, why were you hanging from that hook before then? Isn't it obvious? To properly assess the weight of the 20,000 rubles, naturally. I wish to determine if it would bend that conceited looking hook on the wall, so full of brag and bounce. I never know whether to take this man seriously or not. And now he's moving again. Ah, you again, the great detective. Ah, Inspector, I confess I've been looking for you. We haven't had a lot of scenes with Inspector Hosonaga and Mr. Sholmes together, but for some reason I feel like I would love to see more scenes with those two together. They're two of my favorite characters. I have something to report to you most urgently. Sorry for the sniffling, by the way. Well, you might try looking for me somewhere other than a hook on the wall next time. What is to report? Speak! An urgent report from a great detective can mean but one thing. Yes, the case of the curious murder that took place last night here on this vessel, the steamship Buria, has been solved. By me, naturally. What? Really? Yes, I have eliminated all other possibilities. No other explanations exist. So, allow me to illuminate all your minds. For I am about to reveal my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. So another one of these deductions that I have to help with, right? Ha! You have solved it. Even Hedgehog understands this case. We all knew who was responsible for killing Student Boy this morning when we found criminal in wardrobe. It is the stowaway, and he has handcuffs to prove it. I didn't do it. The trouble is, there doesn't appear to be anyone else who could have killed the victim, because as everyone knows, the cabin door was bolted shut from the inside. Oh, but I'm about to blow your mind. That means the culprit must be someone who was inside the cabin. Yes, it's what's called a locked room mystery in detective stories. Duh, locked room, that is point. The room was locked. Well, I can't deny that. There's no way the bolt could have been drawn across from outside the cabin. You are all quite mistaken. The cabin next door is not a so-called locked room at all. What? Oh yes, there's another entrance. An entrance used last night by the culprit in order to gain access to the cabin despite the bolted door. What other entrance? We never discovered one. Why, it gapes open-mouthed at you even as we speak. The ventilator, man. The ventilator? Gah! You think this is funny. Nobody can fit through a ventilator unless you're a small kid. I cannot even put my arm through that hole. Yeah. That's because your arms are as thick as tree trunks. That's kind of funny. You're suggesting that the culprit entered and left the victim's cabin through that tiny opening? It's not possible. Ah, but it is. And last night, the victim even witnessed the intruder in the act of passing through the ventilator. Even Pavlova can't fit through there, right? Mr. Sholmes, do you mean? Are you referring to the words Kazuma-sama wrote in his diary? 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Does she wear a speckled band? It's a wristband, right? Precisely, my dear madam. But what does it mean? What is a speckled band? The answer to that particular conundrum is in this very cabin. Why? Then, Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? There's a distinct element of danger. But fear not, I am ready. I am so sorry about sniffling, I can't control it. What I am about to expose for you all to see will shock you to your cores. Behold! Kya! What the? Oh. Oh my god. It was a snake! Allow me to introduce you all to the band, the Speckled Band. A snake? Indubitably. What kind of snake is that? Could it have killed Kazuma? No, because there was that writing in Russian, so obviously not a snake. Mr. Sholmes, just one thing. Pray, what troubles you? Well, that snake isn't really speckled, is it? It looks more stripy, wouldn't you say? Yes, you're right. I think in this case, you'd have to call it the Striped Band, wouldn't you? You both see and observe with distinction, however. Do you not think that is precisely the trap into which culprit wishes you to fall? Oh my goodness, really? It's a trap? How exactly? I think perhaps it is time I explained the intricacies of my train of thought. Are you ready, Miss Pavlova? I'm sorry for the young man who died, but that is all. His death is nothing to do with me. This whole thing is nothing to do with me. There are two conclusions I have drawn from the facts. Number one, last night, your friend infiltrated the victim's cabin. And number two, that same friend was responsible for the victim losing his life. No. She's turned as white as a bowl of rice again. Sholmes must be right. He's hit the nail on the head. I really liked how he said, turned white as a bowl of rice. This young woman's friend killed Mr. Asoji. Oh, a snake. It looks like he can't speak with a snake coiled around his head. I would advise as little movement as possible, Seaman. You wouldn't want the fangs of that long friend in your neck. So everyone, let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. I'm gonna go on a whim here, and I'm going to say that it was the snake that killed Kazuma, and because Pavlova is Russian, the seaman tried to cover it by writing down on the ground when he found Kazuma. That's what I'm going with. Just putting that out there. I like to put my reasoning or my conclusion out there, right? Topic 1, intruders' identity. Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His debt is nothing to do with me. This whole thing is nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. She looks very hurt. And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So, we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous night? Why, naturally, it was a friend with which you boarded this vessel, was it not? As I suspected, another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the writing serpent we see before us. And yet, that fact leaves us in a quandary. The victim's written observations on the night in question tell of a speckled band, whereas regrettably, the specimen's markings do not fit the description in any way. What explanation can we give, pray? What was this sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, but it does. You have the answer to this quandary even now, hidden behind your back. So she owns the Speckled band, right? Yes, that which you are trying, but failing to conceal, can only be the snake's loud skin. Evidently, after the subtle and horrible crime, this most deadly friend of yours shed its original skin, no? I don't know what you were talking about. Last night, through the ventilator visible in this cabin, your then speckled friend slithered next door. Using the bell cord on the other side as a bridge, the serpent silently descended into the victim's quarters. In the dim light, it appeared to the young gentleman who was about to lose his life as Speckled band. In summary, the nature of this friend of yours, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a rare breed of snake, whose markings change each time it slows its skin. I hope I'm saying that right. A snake so dreadful we can only imagine it would be found in the deepest depths of India. Conclusion, a beloved speckled snake. Topic 2. How Mr. Asaji died. And the conclusion? Deduction. Moving on, we come to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life, and why? According to the data of which I've been apprised, it would appear there were no visible signs of injury. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. Now, if we take that as fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be? Yes, an examination of the deceased's body will prove the cause of death conclusively. The almost, but not quite, imperceptible puncture wounds left by the venomous fangs will seal the truth. Yes, the vestiges of the snake bite delivered by your terrifying friend. This makes no sense. There's no point feigning ignorance, Miss Pavlova. After the incident, you endeavored to hide everything, didn't you? But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you chose. That's right, you hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case. When we first met in this cabin, it came to my attention that your case moved periodically. Your serpent assassin was restless inside, no doubt. You don't... It is telling that the victim made a note of a low whistling sound that he heard minutes before his death. That was your signal, was it not? The sound you had used to train your serpent friend. To train? Indeed, you'd put the serpent through this ventilator and wait. After a period, you'd summon it back with a whistle. You couldn't know if the animal had done its duty, so you would listen for signs of life next door. If the victim appeared not to have been dispatched, you'd release the snake once more. Do you deny the snake has undergone such training? It's not true. Having slithered through the ventilator and down the bell cord, the creature needed only to sink its fangs in once. And its venom would course through the victim's veins, ending his existence forever. Sorry. That is the true nature of the speckled band that took the poor young man's life. There can be no doubt, my logic is infallible. Conclusion. Death by a venomous snake's bite. What if it's a snake that strangles? Because it looks like it's strangling the seaman's head right now. The crewman. Let's call him the crewman. Tusk concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of the Speckled Band. He can't even speak right now. Miss Pavlova has trained her pet snake as a killing machine. There, on the floor, you will observe a saucer of milk. The promise of food is key to training any creature. Incredible! You've solved the mystery. Amazing! Your great deduction really lives up to its name. I see now why Herlock Sholmes has become such a household name. Can I just leave things as they are and just, like, frame Miss Pavlova? My dear man, it was nothing remarkable, as the Russians say. I could have done it with one left hand. You know what? I wouldn't want to just frame her, though. I really feel like it has to do with the crewman. I feel like he's the one who's really at fault. Could I venture an opinion, Mr. Sholmes? But of course. What's on your mind? It's just about your deductions before. Some things don't quite make sense to me. I welcome questions as to my method, and will answer both loudly and proudly. Oh, well, good. First of all, snakes are egg-laying creatures, part of the reptile family. You are well informed, madam. And reptiles, don't drink milk. Ah. It's really only mammals that like to drink milk, you see. I didn't even know that. So, I'm not sure it would be possible to train a snake using milk as a reward. No matter. No doubt Miss Pavlova used some other treat to encourage her pet to do her bidding. Milk was merely an example. The logic holds. Well, there is something else. Snakes have no ears. Ah. Yes, so I'm not sure it would really be possible to signal a snake by whistling. But madam, what of the tales of Arabia? Have you not heard of snakes that dance to the sound of a flute? I think perhaps the performers play their music in time with the snake's natural movements. Oh, I see. No hands, no feet, no ears. Those creatures are so inept as to be practically useless. You know what? I learned so much about snakes just now. Because I knew they didn't have ears, but I never questioned the dancing, right? To the sound of a flute. So I learned something right there. That's really cool. Don't take it out on the snakes, Mr. Sholmes. There is one other thing. You have more! Right? Can you just shut up? Snakes use the scales on their bodies, on their bellies, to propel themselves. So, I'm not really sure that a snake can manage to climb up a flat bell cord like the ones in these cabins. Then it should try harder. Please, don't be angry with me, Mr. Sholmes. The point is, even if the snake had gone through the ventilator to the next door cabin, it couldn't have come back without help. What I'm trying to say is that there are a number of reasons why it's difficult to imagine a snake could have had a part in this. And maybe the reason a snake is coiled around the crewman's head is because it's the crewman who went to carry the snake back, and the snake is comfortable with him. Just saying. Are snakes even comfortable around people that they don't know? Because the snake's hissing at everyone else, but not at him. You know, just saying. I'm taking this very seriously. I think we need to step in and help again, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh no, you don't mean... Yes, we need to modify Mr. Sholmes' latest deductions and turn them into the great ones they ought to be. I had a feeling that was coming. Alright, let's give it a try. Just what I was waiting for, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, right. So, cast your eyes down on your wrists again. What? Nice. You've done it again. Your handcuffs are gone. Where did they go? Fear not, I shall see they are restored after our work is done. I really wish you'd leave them off. Now, everyone, let us begin. Sherlock Holmes is proud to present his Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Alrighty, let's get back into it. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Holmes. Topic number 1, intruders' identity. Conclusion, beloved speckled snake. Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His debt is nothing to do with me. This whole thing is nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. She does have a pained expression on her face. Yes, that's true. She looks as though Kazuma-sama's debt is weighing heavily on her mind. But you're not sure Mr. Holmes has read her quite correctly, is that it? Could there be some other way to interpret her expression then? Let's take a moment and really look very closely at Miss Pavlova. I mean, she's looking at her hand, right? Is it something to do with her hand? Aching heart. Right ear. What's going on with her right ear? What is that? An earring? She has such petite ears among that beautiful hair, like little pink shells. Oh, what's that? What is that? There's something attached to her ear. Ah, I expect that's what's called an earring. It's a little piece of jewelry. An earring, is it? It really is tiny. Perhaps part of it is missing. Maybe it broke off? So, now all that's left is the clasp part that attaches to the ear. If that's the case, she doesn't appear to have noticed that it's broken. Okay, aching heart. That's it. Okay, aching heart. Let's check it. She really does look troubled. Yes, it's hard to believe she's putting that expression on to fool us. But if you look closely, it's almost like she's actually staring at something. At what, do you think? Perhaps something's physically causing her pain. We should have a closer look, so I can move this around, right? Oh? Left ear. Let's check it out. Okay, so same dialogue. Oh, what's that? There's something dangling down from her ear. And there should be new dialogue, right? Ah, that's an earring. The crescent moon part looks like it's tough. Looks like it's though it's made from wood. It's charming, isn't it? Women do seem to love adornments like that. In their hair, around their necks, on their fingers, or even hanging from their ears, it seems. Well, jewelry is beautiful, Naruhodo-san. But I can't look at what she's looking at, can I? Oh, claw scratch. Oh, Naruhodo-san, look! That looks like a very painful wound. It looks like a scratch made by some kind of small animal, and fairly recently too, but that's not a snake. Well, whatever scratched her doesn't appear to be around here. Is it a rat? Is it a rat? That's it, right? History. What else is there to look at? Can I look at, her snake? What else is there to look at? I'm really confused. Because I'm just looking at her, right? Nothing else. Oh, present. Oh, okay, yes. Present it. Of course. Claw scratch. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, that claw scratch smarts with pain. Indeed, and simple observation reveals that the wound is fresh. Miss Pavlova, did you in fact receive that scratch? Sometime last night. Aha! When I think about the young man who died next door, I feel so sad. And when I am sad, the pain from this wound is worse. And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So, we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous night? Why, naturally, it was the friend with which you boarded this vessel, was it not? Ah, as I suspected, another telltale glance. Okay, so, correction. Without doubt, your friend is the writing serpent we see before us. It seems likely that that scratch mark on the back of Miss Pavlova's hand was made by this friend of hers, doesn't it? Except, snakes don't have claws, do they? So that snake's not hers. That snake belongs to Mr. Stroganov. No, they don't. They don't even have hands or feet on which claws might grow. Well then, if that snake isn't her pet, what is? What's the true identity of this friend of hers? We should follow her gaze, Naruhodo-san. That's where we'll find the answer. Am I supposed to look at this now? Oh. I see. Ah, look at the photograph in this frame. This must be something Miss Pavlova brought with her when she ran away. She is exceptionally beautiful, isn't she? Yes, that's true. But personally, it's the little black creature she's holding that's caught my eye. Maybe we'd better take a closer look at this. Yep, little kitten. Look at the little cat Miss Pavlova is cuddling here. Oh, what a cute little kitten. It could vie with you, couldn't it, Naruhodo-san? For the blackest outfit. A black kitten. And from the look of this picture, at least, Miss Pavlova seems very attached to it. Present.
Yes!
Present the black kitten. Little kitten. Without doubt, your friend is the little kitten we see before us. Yes, the scratch on the back of your hand makes that abundantly clear. Oh no. The whereabouts of this black kitten isn't clear, but what is clear is that you brought the animal with you when you ran away, didn't you? That's it. Darka's my best friend. That's a cute name for a cat. I couldn't leave her behind. Darka would appear to be a Russian blue. And yet, the fact leaves us in quandary. The victim's written observations on the night in question tell of a speckled band, whereas regrettably, the specimen's markings do not fit that description in any way. What explanation can we then give, pray? What was the sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, but it does. You have the answer to this quandary even now, hidden behind your back. Yes, that which you are trying, but failing to conceal, can only be the snake's sloughed skin. So it's not a snake's skin. Did you see that? She just took something out of her pocket and hid it behind her back. If she just left it in her pocket, no one would have even known. Oh yes, ploys like that are Mr. Shum's specialty. He's ever so cleverly forced her to reveal something. I thought deduction was a specialty, or maybe making me believe that was a ploy too. Anyway, I find it hard to believe that's the skin of a snake. In which case, just what is Miss Pavlova hiding behind her back? Let's take a look at it. Well, it is speckled, and it is a band, but what is it? It seems to be soft and fluffy, a long piece of cloth of some sort. And that looks like a handle at one end. Is it a whip? It's a cat toy. That's what I meant. That's what I meant. Like a cat toy whip type of thing. I think it may be a cat's toy. This sort is common in the West, apparently. How is that a toy for cats? Cats like chase the band around and paw at it. Kittens in particular love that sort of play. You only need to wave it in front of them, and they pounce to catch it. Haha, that sounds positively adorable. Cat's toy. Yes! Present the cat's toy. Cool. Yes, the thing you are trying, but failing to conceal, is, a cat's toy. Precisely, and true nature of the now infamous Speckled band. Ah. And it was this toy that you dangled through the ventilator. But why? You waved it around, I presume. Naturally, the victim could not fail to notice it. But why? For what reason? My dear boy, there can only be one answer to that. The cat went through. After her feline friend disappeared through the ventilator into the neighboring cabin, Miss Pavlova attempted to use Speckled Cat's toy to incite the creature to return. Ah. In summary, the nature of this friend of Miss Pavlova's, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a blithesome Russian blue breed of cat by the name of Darka. A truly troublesome feline, young Darka is proving to be. She must be caged once found. You will forgive us for borrowing the photograph of your pet, Miss Pavlova. The photograph of Miss Pavlova and Darka has been entered into the court record. Pavlova and Darka photograph. A photograph of Miss Pavlova and her friend, a kitten named Darka. The tiara she would wear on stage can also be seen. Okay, I don't know why it's going to the court record. It was after I gave her her food last night. That's when it happened. It also explains the milk, eh? She scratched the back of my hand, and then ran up the bell cord. Before I could do anything, she had disappeared through the ventilator. So where's the cat now? Darka, she is so naughty. Conclusion, a beloved kitten. Solved. Topic number 2, how Mr. Assange died. Conclusion, death by a venomous snake's bite. Moving on, we come to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life, and why? Well, it's not a kitten. Obviously. According to the data of which I have been apprised, it would appear there were no visible signs of injury. Ah. So not a kitten. How would a kitten kill him? In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. What Mr. Sholmes says is true. There were no signs of a wound anywhere on Kazuma-sama's body. That's right. But Mr. Sholmes seems to be unaware of one very important detail. Kazuma wasn't poisoned. Yes, it would seem so. Let's give him the information he's missing now. Paper seal. Crime scene photograph. That's not it. It's post-mortem report. Yes! Present this. Yes! Can only be explained by the post-mortem report. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by the post-mortem report. Ah yes, I knew it was one or the other. His neck was... Indeed, the breeding of the cervical vertebrae is fatal. Only that Goliath would be strong enough to survive that. Crewman Stroganov isn't some immortal freak, you know. The jury is out. Anyway, we have on good authority that the victim's neck was broken. Now, if we take that as fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be? Yes, an examination of the deceased's body will prove the cause of death conclusively. Kazuma died because his neck was broken. In other words, he was probably struck by something, or someone. Yes, that's a distinct possibility. As of yet, no weapon has been found though. It's a snake! Presumably, Darka didn't silently creep up behind Kazuma and deal him a fatal blow. I suppose the poor good cat. It's possible that he had a fall and hit the ground awkwardly. It could have been a terrible act of misfortune that he broke his neck completely by accident. Oh yes, a bad fall could explain it. He could have had a bad fall and then basically was knocked out by the hit to the floor. And that's when the snake just strangled his neck, right? It's rather hard to believe Kazuma-sama, though. He wasn't a clumsy man. Well, we need to fix this deduction somehow. Is there anything from the scene that could explain what happened? A piece of small glass object and what looks like a scuff mark made by Kazuma's shoes were found by the victim's body.
Yes!
That seems most likely. Examination of the mark on the floor will prove the cause of death conclusively. Yes, an examination of the mark on the floor will prove the cause of death conclusively. This particular mark, so prominently visible next to the victim's body, is a deposit of shoe polish. Shoe polish? Indeed, positively identified by a little analysis device I constructed, which I carry now as a matter of course. Beeswax, tallow, and dye were my results, the undeniable ingredients of shoe polish. Let's not forget that the ship took an abrupt stop, most likely last night as well. And the color of the polish is a perfect match to the color of Mr. Asuji's laced leather shoes. So he might have fallen over from when the ship halted. All of a sudden. Looking at this mark, it's not hard to imagine what happened. For some reason, Mr. Asuji must have caught his foot at that point on the floor and tripped. Please, no. And, by a dreadful turn of misfortune, caught his neck against some immovable object as he fell to the floor. Suffering a fatal blow to the spine, the victim's vertebrae shattered, and in that instant, he lost his life. No. I don't know. I don't know anything about this. Is that really true, Miss Pavlova? What about the evidence left at the scene where Mr. Asuji lost his life? Yes, the facts are as clear as day to me. You did all you could to conceal the incriminating evidence. But now, your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you chose. That's right, you hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case. No. I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama merely tripped over and now he's no more? It can't be true. I refuse to accept it. I know it's hard to believe, but the mark on the floor does seem to suggest that's what happened. And if this part of Mr. Sholm's deduction is right, Miss Pavlova is trying to hide some evidence that would prove it. Here in this cabin, somewhere is the direction that she just cast her eyes. Where, I wonder? Let's have a good look around. The answer must be here somewhere. Can I not look over there? What is she looking at? Tiara? I wish I could look at the books, because that's what I was hoping to look at. Waste paper basket? Let's take a look at this. This is a waste paper basket. Perhaps all of the first-class cabins have them. But Miss Pavlova only started occupying this cabin late last night. Presumably, there's not much rubbish in there yet. But I see something. I see quite a bit. Oh, what's that? Oh, it's a broken piece of glass, isn't it? It's that bell that we saw the other half of in the other cabin, Cosmo's cabin. And I feel like I've seen it somewhere before. If it looks familiar, perhaps it's more than your mind simply playing tricks on you.
Yes!
Present it. In that waste paper basket. Yes. That's right, you hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that waste paper basket. Ah. Here, we have a fragment of some intricate glass object. It would seem, one that has a familiar air. In fact, it's the bell that was on the kitty's, around the kitty's neck. Precisely. We found another piece of broken glass on the floor in Mr. Asuji's cabin. And, as you can see, the two pieces fit together perfectly. Oh no. So, Miss Pavlova, shall we consider what this tells us? Why would it be that part of this glass object, which was evidently broken at the scene of the victim's death, should be found in the waste paper basket in your cabin. You're well acquainted with this glass bell, are you not? I don't know, is in that husted Russian accent of yours. It won't save you this time, dear girl. Why? Because we have conclusive evidence linking you to the bell in question. What? Take it away, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes. The evidence linking Miss Pavlova and the low glass bell, that would be... And now, I'm glad we have the picture. Let's just take a look at it right now. Make sure... Okay, we can't click on it. Just making sure. Because sometimes they'll present something, and before you click on it and you present it, it takes away one of your lives. I don't know if I had lives there. If you look at this photograph, you can clearly see, hanging from Darka's collar, the very glass bell in question. Darka is so fucking cute. The truth has caught up with you, Miss Pavlova. The young man who lost his life last night did so after a truly inauspicious fall. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the hell out of that. And the cause of that fateful stumble? Oh no, the bell. Your absent feline friend, Darka. I don't think that killed him. I really do think it's Snake. I couldn't tell anyone. I'm sorry. Conclusion. Death by tripping over a cat. Imagine though, death by tripping over a cat. Deduction complete. Elementary. So I mean, it comes to the same. She's the one who's taking the hit for all of this. Why don't you tell us now, Miss Pavlova? Tell us exactly what happened last night. It was a little after 1 in the morning. It was so late, but I hadn't had time to feed Darka, so I gave her some food. And then, all of a sudden, she scratched me and jumped out of my hands. People do say that cats become very anxious and nervous in new environments. She was so fast, she disappeared through the ventilator before I could stop her. Sorry, I'm also playing with my cat right now. She's right next to me. And that is how you acquired the rather nasty wound on the back of your hand, I take it. It's just all this talk about her cat. It makes me think about my own cat. Yes. And I had read the rules on the wall. I knew that I was not allowed Darka with me. Yes, modern science suggests that animals can carry infectious diseases. It's a precaution, really. So, I listened to listen, trying to hear if there was some noise in the next cabin. It was very quiet. I was sure, if someone was there, he must be sleeping. So at that point, you thought it was safe to try to lure the kitten back again. By dangling the end of the toy through the ventilator and into the adjoining cabin. Darka always loved this toy, but it didn't work. Nothing worked. I tried using her favorite toy. I tried whistling to her softly, but nothing. She didn't return. So the faint whistling sound Cosmo wrote about in his diary was Miss Pavlova trying to retrieve her pet. Cats have a propensity to remain hidden in shadows when frightened. Yes, so there was nothing else I could do. I just had to wait until she had calmed down. But then... Oh. So it did happen. And she heard it. I nearly passed out with shock. I heard her cry out, and then... Oh, it was such a dreadful bang. Then afterwards, nothing. It was totally silent. Cosmo was... Dang. From the appearance of the brown mark on the floor, it seems likely that what you heard was a victim stepping on the glass bell and tripping up. The SS Bury is a large vessel, but even she can pitch and roll violently without warning. If Mr. Asaji was already off balance as a result of the ship lurching when the kitten got under his feet, the combination of unfortunate factors could easily have caused him to fall over. But what became of the kitten afterwards? In the end, I managed to get her to come back through the ventilator. Yet Darka is nowhere to be seen. I must have forgotten to lock my case, and now she's disappeared again. Gracious, that cat isn't insufferably restless as I am. Well, he knows something about himself at least. When I woke this morning, I heard that a young man in the cabin next to mine had died, but I couldn't bring myself to tell anyone what had happened. I was too scared that they would send me back. Oh, hold on a minute. What about the snake? You're right, where is it? If the snake isn't your friend, Miss Pavlova, then whose is it, and where did it come from? What on earth is such a dangerous creature doing on board this ship? That we are going to figure out next episode. Thanks so much for watching. Please leave a like if you've enjoyed the episode, and subscribe if you would like to see more of my content. I wish you all a wonderful day. Petting the snake. Oh my god. And I'll see you next time for more. Peace.